Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My daughter's boyfriend is a pathological liar and probably the biggest con artist I have ever met.
He's been called an abuser.
He didn't throw me through a window. He hit the window.
That's what you told me when you called crying.
And a con artist.
He also scammed a friend out of $70,000.
That's not true at all.
Today, he faces off with Dr. Phil.
Did you fake a kidnapping?
God, no. I was held against my will.
So why were you arrested at the end of it?
Did he fake having cancer?
You had a crowdfunding site?
No, that's
wait a minute. You tried to con me, and we're done, my friend. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Julianne says her daughter Mariah's boyfriend Leighton is a smooth talker who lies his way through life. She claims he's faked having cancer, lied about being kidnapped, and even convinced a disabled friend to give him $70,000 for a business that he never opened. Now, Julianne says Leighton is a con artist who has taken her once sweet daughter and absolutely ruined her life. Take a look.
My daughter's boyfriend, Leighton, is a pathological liar and probably the biggest con artist I have ever met. Leighton started a GoFundMe page saying that he has cancer. He doesn't have cancer. He managed to raise $1,200 before I called it in and it was shut down. He also scammed a friend who is mentally disabled out of $70,000. Leighton told the friend that he wanted the money signed over to him so they could start a tattoo shop together, and it never happened, and the money's gone. Leighton told a story that he had been kidnapped and kept in a room for several days and that they were throwing needles with meth in them at him. Leighton claimed to be the victim of the kidnapping, however, he was the one who was arrested. They found 2 syringes with meth, $16,000, and a gun. I don't think it would be a great idea for you and Leighton to be together.
Well, that's your personal opinion. I don't think you and Dad are a good couple either.
I believe that Leighton got Mariah addicted to heroin. They started out using opiates together, then they started using heroin. Leighton shoots her up, she doesn't know how. Leighton has been charged with probably 10 crimes: domestic abuse, destruction of property, assault, and then the current charges, the gun, money, and meth. In October, he gave Mariah a black eye and was in jail for over 30 days for domestic abuse. I believe that that violence is becoming so bad and happening more often. I'm afraid that Leighton's gonna kill her.
Well, Julianne, what's your goal today? What do you hope we do here?
I hope that you can convince Mariah and Leighton that they have the most unhealthy relationship. It's getting worse and worse. They say they love each other and they're best friends, and then 2 hours later they're physically abusive to each other, and it all seems to revolve around drugs. And they also have mental health issues that I don't know how to handle.
Do you think you're pushing her towards him by telling her not to be with him? Because she's obviously rebellious to authority, right?
Absolutely.
So if you step in and say, don't, is she going to say yes, 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 just to defy you?
Sometimes, but then she, in the middle of the night, on a very frequent basis, says, "Mom, come and get me, help me move home. This is terrible. You were right. I'll never go back again." And I say, "Mariah, if we let you move home, you cannot go back again." 3 days later, she is. And she's 24, so I don't feel like I can stop her from going back.
Do you think he has some control over her?
I think they both have control over each other in a very sick way.
And what is it?
Drugs, mental health problems. They've both been through a lot of trauma, and they find that their stories are somewhat the same, and that's how they bonded, I guess.
Are they in love with each other in some sick way? Do they
in a
think
very
that?
sick way. They both love each other
What do you mean when you say he's a con man? You say he's a pathological liar and a con man. What do you mean by that?
I have caught him in so many lies.
For example?
One time they couldn't pay rent, and he said the ceiling fell in on him while he was sitting on the toilet, and that way the landlord would have had to pay. He talked the landlord into paying the rent because of that happening. He went to the hospital because he was so hurt from the ceiling falling in on him that he was able to get opiates, which that's their drug of choice.
Right.
And so he's got a silver tongue. He's very convincing. He's convinced me sometimes, even after he's done horrific things to her.
He's conned you?
Yeah.
Did you
like I've let him back in our life.
Did you believe it when he said he was kidnapped?
No, I don't believe that story.
But he did say he was kidnapped.
Absolutely.
And held captive.
Yeah, this is currently a pending charge.
If he was kidnapped, why did they get there and arrest him? They don't typically arrest the kidnappee.
No.
They arrest the kidnapper.
Well, because they're all in on it together against him. That's what he says. Because his brother works in law enforcement there, and everybody's against him. Everybody's against all of them.
Well, they found him with a large amount of cash, right?
Uh-huh.
When they kidnapped.
Which was probably left over from when he conned the guy out of the $70,000, I'm guessing.
Well, wouldn't the kidnappers take the cash?
You would think. Well, the money was at the place where he said he was kidnapped.
Right.
But now the police have it.
Now, he set up a GoFundMe page, right? Mm-hmm. And what was that for?
He said it was for cancer. He said he had lymphoma, specifically.
Did he?
No.
Did you make a donation?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because that way I could see who was donating to his page, and otherwise I couldn't see it.
And so that allowed you to have access to the page. What did you see when you got in there?
The updates that he gave to tell people, oh, I only need this much more, and I'm going to be able to start treatment. And then he would post updates on his Facebook page thanking people, and that if everything goes well, I'll be able to start my treatment within next week. And he wasn't going to treatment. He wasn't receiving any treatment. He didn't have lymphoma.
Okay. Well, here's an excerpt from Layton's social media page on October 27, 2016. He says, found out Mariah was doing this for me today. Thank you to all who has donated. So I guess it's out. I'm sick. Click here to support Help Save a Life by Layton. So he said Mariah set it up for him, and then he just found out that what a loving act, she set this up for him. So he's saying she was in on it as well.
Yeah, she didn't know the password. That's not how Mariah would write. I could tell that was Layton's
Well,
language.
if he had cancer, why take it down?
I reported it that he didn't have cancer.
But if he did, why take it down?
They took it down because they apparently found it fraudulent.
So how did they find out it was fraudulent?
I called in and I told them that he's not seeking treatment, that the money was being used for other things, for drugs, for rent, for I don't know what. And
so he
I
doesn't
guess
much
they
like you, I suppose.
No, he pretty much hates me.
Yeah, well, we'll find out about that, because next we're going to meet Julianne's daughter and find out why she says her mother is the liar, her mother is the hypocrite. Not her, not Layton, but Mom here is a liar and a hypocrite. We're going to find out why she says that and see if it passes the test. We'll be right back.
My mom likes to blame Layton for pretty much everything that goes wrong. There have been times that me and my mom have gotten into physical fights.
Ever.
And later, why do you have this resentment towards your mother?
Because she's a liar and a manipulator.
Mariah, you are in such a downhill slide right now. Do you not realize you're gonna die?
I think that Mariah is not blameless in this.
They are both physically abusive to each other. When they get into fights, I believe Mariah instigates it. The violence is out of control. They shouldn't be together.
Well, Julianne says her relationship with her daughter Mariah has been strained since she started dating this boyfriend Layton 4 years ago. Take a look.
My relationship with my mom is very volatile. One day we're getting along, and the next day it's just war.
Ever.
We're at each other's throats. There have been times that me and my mom have gotten into physical fights. Recently, my mom's put her hand up in my face and just kind of shoved me. It took everything in me not to hit her back, but I knew if I did and the police came, it would be me that would go to jail and not her. Leighton and I have been together for 4 years, on and off now. It's caused a lot of fighting.
Why can't we talk about it?
Because it's not your choice to tell me who I can and can't be with.
That's exactly right.
All you care about is power. You're so controlling and manipulative. I can't take it. My mom likes to blame Leighton for pretty much everything that goes wrong. She blames Leighton for me being addicted to opiates. The first time I wanted to use a needle, I couldn't find my veins, and so Leighton helped me. My mom has threatened to be done with me if I chose to pursue a relationship with Leighton.
Okay, Mariah, assume for a second that your mother is totally out of this situation. Forgetting her, how's your life working for you?
We have a house.
Do you have rent for next week?
No, because we've been dealing with the show, and I haven't
Because
been
you
able.
both have jobs?
I'm not going to get into this with you. You know it. I'm so tired of fighting with you.
Well, talk to me. I asked you the question. She just interrupted. I'm asking you, how's your life working for you? Seriously.
I wouldn't say it's great, but I'm not dead.
Well, how?
I'm not starving. I have clothes.
Okay, so you're not dead or starving and you have clothes. Is that?
It's more than half the world.
Are you defensive about me asking you how your life's working for you when you say, hey, I'm not dead and I've got food and clothes? Are you really where you want to be at this point in your life?
No, but she's also given me money to move in there.
Well, I said
and then
forget
took it
about her.
back.
I said forget about her for a minute. I'm just asking you. I just met you. Hell, I don't know. She may be a totally meddlesome, overbearing, intrusive mother.
You know her too?
I just met you. I don't know. That may be true. I'm just asking, are you, I guess this is kind of a test. I'm asking, is your life working for you or is it not?
It's not where I want to be, but I'd say it's working.
Okay. Are you a drug addict?
Yes.
Are you on heroin?
Not at the moment. Not heroin. Opiates, yes.
Okay, you use opiates regularly. Why do you use them?
Because when I can't make it to the methadone clinic, which my mom is paying for, if you don't take methadone, which is almost worse than heroin, which you can get at the methadone clinic, you get sick if you don't take it, and it's the worst feeling in the world.
Okay, so you're not being straight with me. When I said, how's your life working for you, you're using opiates to the point that if you don't get them, you get sick. So you have to have methadone to bridge it. And you're living from one fix to another, and you're telling me that that's okay.
I'm actually going to the methadone clinic, and when I can't make it there, then I will use opiates.
Okay, so.
But you've shot up Adderall since the methadone is not allowing you to get high from the opiates.
I don't want to be going to the methadone clinic every day. Things aren't where I want them to be, but they could always be worse.
But when you were growing up, this couldn't have been your dream.
No.
That can't have been what you were dreaming about in middle school, high school. That can't have been your goal.
Actually, in high school, I did just want to grow weed. That was I didn't want to go to college, and my mom didn't really push it.
Okay. So you don't want to have a straight conversation with me. You just want to be right in front of your mother. Is that it?
Absolutely not.
What if, I'm not just saying true, but just what if you're talking to somebody that could help you truly turn your life around and get what you want, and instead of seizing that moment, you're playing this game?
Maybe I don't know how to be honest with myself.
And I hate to see you squander an opportunity, because I'm really good at what I do, and I got resources you can't even imagine. But so we spent 10 minutes being right. Okay, you're right. Julianne says Mariah's boyfriend is turning her into a con artist and a liar. Well, we'll meet him next, see if he wants to be a right fighter as well, after the break.
Julianne said that I've shoved drugs down Mariah's throat. Just beat the shit out of Mariah every day. I don't. It's completely untrue.
And later, so you're coming to the Dr. Phil show and you're bringing needles and drug paraphernalia and fighting and running through security.
Mariah called me and told me that her car had got hit and run, but the truth was Leighton was driving it around and hit the back end of another car when he'd been drinking and then tried to take off, hit another car, and they both left the scene, and it's a hit and run.
Julianne says her daughter Mariah's boyfriend Leighton is teaching her daughter to be a con artist and a liar. Leighton says Julianne likes to act like she's perfect and blames him for Mariah's behavior, but she is the one who created the monster.
Mariah's mom, Julianne, hated me from day one. She did everything she could to try to break us up. She belittles me, tells everybody I've done all these horrible things. Julianne said that I've shoved drugs down Mariah's throat, that I got her started on the drug scene. It's completely untrue. Mariah and I have gone at it before. Because of one incident, I got thrown in jail for 30 days. I just got out a couple weeks ago. Julianne loves to blow things out of proportion, likes to make it out that I just beat the out of her every day. That's not true at all. Mariah's mom is controlling and manipulative. She would ask me to confide in her. She would turn around and tell Mariah what I told her, putting her own spin on it to try to make me look bad. Mariah's mom has a tendency to act like her doesn't stink. She's the world's worst enabler. She turns a blind eye to everything Mariah does and reflects the blame onto other people, usually me. Mariah's mom's a hypocrite. She criticizes Mariah on the things she does, but in fact, she enabled her to do those things. Her mom pays for everything: insurance, phone, food, gas, everything. Mariah was introduced to drugs like marijuana through her parents. Mariah is an addict. If there's something that has addictive values, she'll pursue it. I'm not the source of Mariah's problems. Mariah's mom took huge part in creating this mess in the first place.
Okay, Leighton, you've been listening to everything that's been talked about so far, right?
Yes.
And you've been described in not so glowing terms.
Yes.
Did y'all have a fight this morning?
Yeah.
What was it about?
She didn't get her methadone when she woke up, and I'm short-tempered in the morning, so if you bark at me, I bark back. I think we just started rattling off at each other with all the stress and stuff.
So you're at the hotel this morning, and all this started around 10 after 6, and it started getting loud in y'all's room. So hotel security was called and told them that you were going to have to leave. Well, eventually y'all got in the car, and you recorded some of the argument, right? Let's listen to what happened then.
Leighton, you take everything for yourself.
I got up at
No
morning
one
to make
believes
sure
you.
you had everything you needed
Then how come I have nothing I need?
because you freaked out like usual.
No, because you
I
called
asked
me
you
a
to-
bitch and hit me.
I'm sorry, where? Show me.
I just did, you piece of. Are you retarded?
Don't yell while there's somebody driving.
You guys, that driver is really, like, it's not easy driving with the sun right in your eyes. Please, Brian, please think about somebody else.
Maybe you should have told Leighton to think about someone else besides himself. Look how high he is. Look at his eyes.
Don't.
His eyes are going.
Baked out of my gourd.
And you're not baked, you're high on drugs, not marijuana. Baked is marijuana. How come I have nothing then if you got up so damn early and did everything for me?
I got up, tried to get everything prepped, and you did your normal thing. It was drama. You
Leighton,
just
you're
scream and
so
cry because
It's because you steal everything.
I stole. Okay,
You
you're right.
steal everything
You're
from
right,
me.
Mariah, just like when we left and you took everything. That's why I don't get sick, is because you take everything, which I should be thankful for.
It's because I'm on methadone and you're not.
Oh,
That's why I get sick.
I gotcha.
Who got the Opanas to begin with?
But you guys, you could have went and gotten methadone. That's the whole thing, and then you wouldn't have been sick.
She wants to get high.
Yeah, I do. If I'm gonna go to rehab, I want to get high one last time. And Leighton wouldn't let me because he wants it all to himself.
I've heard enough of that. So you were upset that he took the drugs before you had a chance.
That's how I felt.
So at the studio, Mariah and her mom got into an argument.
You tried to break my purse off of my body and take my wallet from me.
So I threw the wallet at you.
She was going to tear up Leighton's
No,
ID so
you
he wouldn't have a
think
way
I was.
to
Did I
fly
say I was
anywhere
going to do that?
That's an assumption.
Yeah, it is an assumption.
Did you think it was going to happen, Leighton?
No, she gets mad and threatens things, but her bark's way worse than her bite.
Thank you.
Then Mariah gave the security guards some needles. And the stage then told Leighton he was going inside and had to go through security. So Leighton then threw a spoon in the trash. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's all of this stuff that we have here in this hazmat bag, these syringes and this spoon. So hence my question to you this morning, Mariah, how's your life working for you? You said, oh, fine, you know.
Pretty dramatic and pretty.
But I went through 5 minutes of you telling me how everything was pretty much fine. You had
Well,
clothes
she
and food.
likes to tell me that the rest of the world lives in poverty and that I have it well.
So you're coming to the Dr. Phil show and you're bringing needles and drug paraphernalia
Yes.
and fighting and running through security and throwing this stuff.
I didn't throw
come on,
a
what?
needle. I would never throw a needle.
Yeah.
Mariah, you are in such a downhill slide right now. Do you not realize that if you guys don't get help, you're going to die?
Yes, we do realize that. That's why we're here.
And why are you being so defensive to him?
I'm being defensive because I'm not going to let things get twisted out of proportion.
Julianne says Leighton is a manipulator who scammed a mentally disabled person out of 70 grand, not to mention that he faked cancer. We'll hear what Leighton has to say about those accusations after the break. Why do you have this resentment towards your mother?
Because she's a liar and a manipulator.
Where'd you get this black eye? Closed captioning provided by
The first time that I met Leighton was Christmas 2013. Mariah called me hysterically from his tattoo shop. They had both been drinking, and Mariah said that Leighton threw her through the plate glass window. When I got there, she was bleeding, and I had to take her to the emergency room for stitches. I can't stand him. Leighton lies, and he beats up my daughter.
Well, Julianne says the first time she met her daughter's boyfriend, Leighton, it was after an incident that left her daughter, Mariah, bleeding and needing to go to the emergency room. But Leighton says Mariah pushes him to the point where he cannot control himself and claims Mariah has even physically attacked him. Obviously, it's volatile.
Yeah, when drugs and alcohol are involved, it gets pretty intense.
Which is constantly. It's just constant anymore.
Why do you have this resentment towards your mother?
Because she's a liar and a manipulator, and
What's she lying about?
she twists every story. He didn't throw me through a window. He hit
That's
the window.
what you told me
No,
when you
it's
called
not.
crying.
No, it's not.
Is she lying about you being a drug addict?
No.
Is she lying about you being in a domestically violent relationship with Leighton?
I'd say that's true, but it goes both ways.
Where'd you get this black eye?
From him.
So you may disagree about some of the details, but the real substance of what she's concerned about is genuine.
Yes, but just like everything else, I feel it is being blown out of proportion and lies.
Okay, well, let's put it back into proportion so I can deal with what really is. Do you need to be here talking to me
Yes.
about?
My drug use, his drug use, both of our violence towards each other.
Mental health issues. She's been on and off probation since she's 12 years old. She's had 2 DWIs. She's had possession of drugs.
When did she
She's
start?
tricked
When
the
did she start?
probation officers
When did she start doing marijuana?
when she was probably
When you started giving it to her?
14. I didn't give it to her,
That's
but
a
I
lie.
condoned it. I didn't tell her it was evil. I thought it was better than drinking.
What the hell were you thinking?
I was really stupid. I had a husband that drank a lot on the weekends, and Mariah and I both agreed that drinking was terrible and that drinking causes violence and people's dying, and
that she convinced me that marijuana was natural and an herb, and I thought, wow, it's way better than drinking. And she convinced, I said, Mariah, but
a 12-year-old convinced you of something?
Okay, you were 14. And your
12.
IQ, her verbal IQ is in the 150s. And so maybe she can convince me of stuff.
What is your job?
Anyway,
a disability
I
determination
was bad.
examiner?
I did the wrong thing.
No one should be able to convince you of something that isn't true. That's your job.
And I said, Mariah, this will lead to other drugs. I'm really worried about that. No, it won't, Mom. I would never put another chemical in my body. Weed is natural. And so, honestly, I didn't think it was that terrible.
Did you go consult anybody? Did you talk to a physician, a pediatrician, your family doctor? Do you have a computer? Did you Google it? Or did you just decide stupidity was a virtue?
I really, really screwed up. And I tried to get her treatment 3 times beforehand.
Then why are you defending it? You either drink or do drugs on the weekend when you're 12.
14, but...
14, 13, 15, whatever, pick a number.
I messed up bad. I admit it.
Then can I say that? I messed up bad. Whoops.
I've caused things to be way worse when I thought I was making them better. And I feel like you're my only hope because you seem to lay it out to people and tell them what idiots they are and what stupid decisions that they've made. And I know that.
Well, you know why I'm that way? Because I feel like if people come all the way here, they at least deserve for me to tell them the truth as I see it. For you to allow a child whose brain is pruning itself at the time to start doing marijuana is an absolute higher form of insanity. Now, Leighton says Julianne even had to bribe Mariah to come on the show. But what about Leighton's list of lies? We have to be completely honest before we can move forward. And I don't see anybody here that has any degree of readiness whatsoever to move in the right direction. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by...
Mariah is very verbally abusive. When Mariah's in angry mode, there is no controlling her. Mariah likes to call me a piece of shit. She knows that's my trigger. Mariah likes to threaten to call the police and tell them ridiculous things, obscene things. Mariah can bring me to my boiling point.
I said before the break that we were dealing with a question of readiness. You know, I believe that people have stages of readiness for change. Number one is they're compelled by authority to change. 2 is when they comply to escape criticism. Stage 3 is when they're intellectually aware. They know intellectually that they need to make a change, but they don't really feel it. Their heart's not in it. And then stage 4 is when they are mentally, emotionally, self-motivated by change. That's when people are truly ready. That's when they say, I will not put up with this from myself for one more second of one more minute of one more hour of the rest of my life will I put up with this from myself. And when you come in here saying, oh yes, my life's fine, my mother's a bitch, but my life is fine, then I look through that like a plate glass window. I look at a bunch of right fighters up here wanting to justify and explain, and I see the chance of coming around to some new reality as zero. You come out here and you would lie when the truth would do better. I mean, come on. You say you had lymphoma and you had a crowdfunding site? True or false?
No, that's not the. Well, okay.
Now, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Hold on. Before you say, you need to stop. Before you say anything, you need to really take a deep breath and think about what you're getting ready to say. Because if you're getting ready to split hairs with me, you're making a threshold decision. Because you don't want to waste 5 minutes of my life terminating our relationship because you tried to con me And we're done, my friend. Did you or did you not claim falsely to have a disease? That's a yes or no question. That's not an essay.
Yes.
Did you con a friend out of 70 grand to start a tattoo shop?
No.
Did you get $70,000 from him?
Yes.
And
Where's the tattoo shop?
We got a bunch. Okay. It wasn't $70,000 first off.
Okay, don't play math
Part
with
of the
me.
money.
Don't play math with me.
It was
Did you
50.
did you
Tell him
take
what
this
happened
guy
to the
down for
money.
some money?
No, I got robbed, and there's proof. I'm going through court for it. The girl just got popped for it. She's facing life in prison.
did you
also
spend a
not
ton of
supposed to
it
talk
on
about
Mariah and drugs?
Yeah, I spent a lot of money
You
on
said it
drugs.
went in her arm.
Yeah, a lot of money went into drugs.
You got money from a friend that was disabled, and it went in her arm.
He's not disabled.
He's not. Yeah, I don't know
That's-
who said he
did
was
the drugs,
disabled.
He did drugs with us.
You told me
Like,
he was slow, Mariah.
Slow doesn't. I'm not a doctor.
I don't.
You guys, you're losing your
He was
opportunity.
a drug addict.
Oh,
He
you have
doesn't-
no idea.
I have the stages.
Mariah,
Did you falsely claim a ceiling fell in on you so you could get opiates?
Yes.
Did you fake a kidnapping?
No. God, no.
So you were kidnapped.
I was held against my will. I went there on my own will, and when they found out I had a large sum of money, they kept me there.
So why were you arrested at the end of it?
I went to the sheriff's. I ran into the sheriff's house. The door was unlocked. They arrested both of us because they had to sort out the amount of drugs, the amount of money, the guns.
you guys, doesn't this mean your life is like total hell? Like whose
Yeah,
life
I
is
haven't
like
said it
that?
isn't.
It's
My life
insane.
sucks.
It is crazy.
Are you on dialysis?
No.
Did you say you were?
Yes. I did.
I think they have a lot of mental health issues too.
You think?
It's not just
I
drugs.
just got recently diagnosed,
That's
and I'm on
funny. Those are all
antipsychotics.
funny.
Yeah, it is funny. It is funny
Apparently.
because you think that you can get away with this. That's what's funny is you
Get away
think we're
with
that
what?
stupid.
Get away with what?
Get away with all of these ridiculous explanations and split hairs and challenge your mother on some insignificant detail that changes not one bit of the reality of where you are.
I don't want to fight about it, but I don't want to be lied about either.
Oh, yeah, okay. You have really high standards in your life, right?
I'm done lying.
Did your mother bribe you with a manicure to come to the show?
No.
Did you tell one of the APs you weren't going to come unless you got a spray tan?
No, I said I wanted to go tanning before I came.
Just ridiculous. We'll be right back. Well, I'm back with Julianne and her daughter Mariah and her friend Leighton. Mariah, what do you want? What do you want to do with your life going forward?
I want to be clean and I want to be sober because I know if I don't, I'll probably die.
So, what are you willing to do to get there?
Anything at this point. I literally said a few weeks prior to ever even knowing about this show that this is the one thing I would never do is go on TV and air my dirty laundry. And I feel if I was willing to do this, this is pretty much willing to do anything.
It's really hard for me to do that too. I feel like I've let the world know what an idiot I am. But I don't want to enable her anymore ever again. And I'll do whatever I need to do if she goes to treatment not to enable her anymore.
What do you want to do, Leighton?
I need a complete life change. I want to do whatever it takes to become the person I used to be instead of the person I am now.
So, what person did you used to be?
I was clean and sober, owned a business, had a home. I was very family oriented. I was actually a really good guy. I used to volunteer. I don't know. I'd like that life back. It might have been more docile and boring, but it was nice. I had a sense of security and safety, and it didn't end with me dead or in prison or alone.
You know, at this point, you're a criminal.
I know.
You understand that, right?
I've been doing my best to fix. I really have.
And when you say, Ryan, when you say willing, what do you mean willing? Willing to do? What do you mean willing?
I will do whatever it takes to get help.
You realize it's not too late, right?
Sometimes I don't feel that way.
You've got so many things that you can and should do with your life, and you are so busy getting in your own way that if you will absolutely surrender to doing what you need to do, if you will absolutely decide to be stage 4 readiness, if you will stop taking this crap from yourself, stop blaming your mother, stop blaming the world, stop blaming the cops, stop blaming everybody else, and own where you are, then there's no way in God's earth that you can fail. There's no way in God's earth that you can't star in your own life if you will just claim it. I know these things about people. Closed captioning provided by, you know you're betraying yourself. You know how much more capable you are than what you're doing. You know you have sold out.
I agree.
And I don't want you to kind of do this. I want you to do this, and I want you to knock it out of the park, and then I want you to pay it forward for a long time in the future. You hear what I'm saying to you? The clinical director and owner of New Method Wellness is Deanna Jordan, and she's joining us today. And New Method Wellness is a substance abuse treatment center located in San Juan Capistrano. And let me tell you, it provides an array of treatment programs, and it's catered to each client's needs with an emphasis on dual diagnosis, which means they deal with all the psychological aspects that underlie your addiction. Can you help this girl?
Mariah, 27 years ago, I was exactly like you, and it's been 27 years since I've had to take a drink or any drugs. I have the life way beyond my wildest dreams.
Tell me you will make this work one time right.
We'll take this opportunity and make this work.
For you, not for her, not for him, for you.
I can't stand living with myself anymore.
And Leighton, you're screwed up as Hogan's goat, buddy. I'm telling you, this is Dr. Kaligi right here. Dr. Manion's right next to him. Say hi. And Dr. Kaligi is with Creative Care Malibu, located on 25 acres overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It is a co-ed substance abuse and mental health treatment facility. And they work from detoxification of drugs and alcohol right through the pathology that has driven you to make asinine choices and decisions all of your life. Dr. Kaligi, Dr. Manion, can you help this man?
For sure, for sure. As long as you're willing to take responsibility, as you've attempted to do here today, I think you're going to be on the right track.
I'm going to offer this to you, and I expect you to lean into this. And if I hear one word from these people about you playing games, we will kick your ass to the Malibu curb. Deal?
Please, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
lean into this. Lean into it every step of the way. All right, fair enough. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to New Method Wellness and its clinical director and owner, Deanna Jordan, and to Creative Care Malibu and founder, Dr. Kaligi, and clinical director, Dr. Manion. These people do great work. Their links are on my website. If you have problems in your family, people that you love, people you care about, that's the first place to look. They're handpicked by me. We'll see you next time.